Right, the electric car evangelists are an evil cult, and their revolting threats have left me in fear for my life.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Well, it's probably, some of them are alright to be fair, but some of them are a little excessive, I have to say, or very passionate, as they will probably tell you. Anyway, if you are new to the channel, I am the Mac Master, and you may have seen my recent videos of myself and Jeff Buys Cars taking a trip in an electric car and a diesel car from John O'Groats to Land's End. 3, 2, 1, go! If you've not seen them, I'll put the links in the description down below. If you have, then you will know what an absolute nightmare it was to use an electric car. Now, my beliefs are, and my experience are, with this car, that electric cars are not the future. However, the evangelists seem to think different. They've been brainwashed. I've said before, they are like Cybermen.
Upgrade in progress.
Who have been upgraded, and some of them think that it is all about the greater good.
It's all about the greater good.
The greater good.
I personally don't. So if you are new to the channel and you are not subscribed, do me a favour and hit that subscribe button. It does help push this video out to YouTube, and also it educates other people to the fact that these things are not the future. In my opinion, that is. Anyway, this trip created quite a little bit of controversy. It hit the headlines in the Sun newspaper. It also went along other channels as well who did videos on it. Now, the response on it and the comments on it from the evangelists were ranging from abusive to funny and comedic to I mean, I'm just beyond words with some of the comments. So we're going to go through them and I'm going to answer them questions today. As I say, if you're new to the channel, just do me a favour, hit the subscribe button. Let's educate these people out there who are thinking of buying an electric car to what the reality of them really is. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go.
One of us. One of us.
Now then, okay, so we'll start the video off with, I'm going to pull over and read some of these comments and give some feedback on it. These are the comments and the feedback that I've had back from the journey that I did from John O'Groats to Land's End against Jeff Buys Cars. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Jeff Buys Cars, head over to his channel. I'll put his link at the end and in the description down below. Great guy, and I've become really good friends with him. So that's a good thing about YouTube. You get to meet different people and become friends with them. So head over and subscribe to his channel as well. I'll start the video off with a serious point. I have had an email which was abusive, threatened myself and my family. I have reported it. I don't find those things amusing, and he's supposed to be an evangelist or an EV lover, I'm guessing, but you never know, it could be just some kind of nut job. So that has been reported. So I don't mind people and evangelists getting passionate about their EVs and being, I don't mind them, you know, calling me names, etc., and calling me, you know, stupid or whatever, and I haven't done it right. That's fine, they're entitled to their own opinion, but threats are not called for, so they have been reported. So anyway, we'll move on to that because some of the comments are quite funny actually, and I have a response for them. Some of them are serious questions which I will answer, as in like, why did I not charge overnight at the hotel? Quite a reasonable question really, because you can't leave your car charging on a public charger because it blocks it for other EV users. So and a lot of EV users will know that you can't do that, it will block it out. Why don't I leave it charging while we went for a meal? And again, like I said, I'm going to get in this lane because the roads are closed again. Do you know what, there's so many roads closed at the moment, it's unbelievable. And Jeff's got his own verdict on why that is. If you're watching, Jeff, you can let him know in the comment section down below. Anyway, as you know, you cannot block off chargers, so I couldn't leave it charging while I was going off and having a meal with Jeff. So I'm going to pull over in a minute. We're going to go through it and go through the questions. Some of them are funny, and I'd love to know your feedback and leave your feedback in your comments and replies to these comments, because some of them really are hilarious. In fact, one guy must have spent hours just replying to each video and then copy and pasting. These evangelists, they've taken over the asylum, haven't they? They're absolutely nuts.
One of us.
They're crazy. I mean, there's passionate and there's just lunacy. Anyway, onwards. Let's pull over and let's get down to business of reading some of them. Right, okay, park, milk float off. There we go, seatbelt off. Let's grab my phone and let's go through these. Some of them, as I say, are funny, and some of them probably a little bit over the top, let's say. But have your comments on them as well and have your say-so on them. So first of all, we'll go for the first one, which is from Snurptacular. You must have the IQ of a 10-year-old. You keep referring to people as evangelists, and you actually think it's witty. Why do you keep saying your car is worth 120 grand when it's 2 years old? Have you heard of deflation? Or refer to the BMW as costing under 3 grand? Why don't you compare the new price of it? The only thing you have proven in this video is how dumb you are. I'm just saying it was originally 120 grand. So there we go. There's no need to be abusive, Snurptacular. However, thanks for the content. We'll go on to the next one, which is from the Digital Hombre. If you had done the math, I think you've missed an S off of there, obviously American, it's maths. Before leaving, you would have already known that you could never win this. And to be honest, Lee should have driven a similar car, Porsche Cayman or something. You are an embarrassment to the EV community.
Not like us! Not like us! Not like us!
Because this is not what EV stands for. I'm an embarrassment to the EV community. What I am is, I am the Macmaster, and I save people.
I'm the doctor, and I save people.
From the evangelists like yourself that try and brainwash other people into the fact that having an EV is the future, which I believe it is not. However, there are some instances where it may be, as I've said, for riding around town, etc., and just going to the shops. Perfect, ideal cars for that. You can charge it up overnight and then zip down to the shops. Brilliant. As a day-to-day vehicle for business people, etc., and people who are doing more than that, I personally don't think it is. From my experience, it's been a nightmare, but you've seen all that. Another one here, Michael Newton. Being honest, this is without a doubt one of the most boring videos I've ever seen in my life. If you don't improve this content, I will unsubscribe. Well, Michael Newton, you know where the door is. I shall see you later, maybe, or probably never again. There we go. It can't be more boring than charging your car, though, can it? I mean, come on. I try and make the videos as long as I can, but I can't make them long enough for the fact to charge your car. Anyway, moving swiftly on. This is from user, whatever it is. The only thing that is ridiculous is you. You were 13 miles away from Exeter services when you were at Cullumpton, so why didn't you charge there, as they have over 24 chargers? I don't want to have to go into Exeter services. I wanted to go to Cullumpton because they had Ionity, and Ionity is subsidised, and I've never had an issue with Ionity before. The last time I went to Ionity, always been fine at Cullumpton, so that's why I went there. I planned my journey, like you evangelists say that I should. This video really does follow your normal narrative. Maybe you should get your Porsche into the garage to check, as you seem to have issues at every single charger you used with the smoke as well. So, okay, there we go. Not too abusive, that one, to be fair. Then we go into Comic Mania. I had an evangelist arguing with me today about this one, Lee. He reckoned that you stopped at all the wrong charging points. My reply was, look at why he stopped at the charging points he did, and not just pick up and choose for your agenda. By the way, really enjoyed all these videos. Watched both of yours and Jeff's. Kept me going this week. As entertaining as Top Gear. Onwards, my friends. And then somebody put, he did, this is Lindsay Scott, he did stop at all the wrong chargers. He used Ionity mostly to save money, but that meant he was a lot later than he needed to be when he made 2 or 3 videos about how long and stressful the drive was. Surely be better to spend an extra £5 and not be so late. Not really, because those chargers, Lindsay, were on my way. So I didn't go out my way for those chargers. That's where I went, Ionity. Onwards to the next one. We've got here, this video is not about pro or anti-EV, it's about making money off YouTube videos. You pick a team and make content for them so they support the channel, but it would have been nice to see if he really tried just how fast a Taycan can do it. Model S did it in 15 hours and an E-Nero in 20 hours. Both videos are on YouTube. Still not as fast as an ICE car at 10 hours. No, they're not. They also did, by the way, their cars, the last Taycan one that did it, it was over a year ago, and there's a lot more EVs on the road since that video was done, and it's getting more and more impossible to try and charge your car. And I don't know about this, however, was that the guy's Taycan or was it loaned to him? If it was loaned to him, going to be very difficult to say negative things about an electric car that's been loaned to you. This car is mine. Moving swiftly on. Sorry, Mac, you two are deluded if you think this pathetic vlog is going to end EVs. And then somebody actually said, oh, I changed my order for my new car to a petrol model, manual 6-speed and save money. Chris Hunter, every person that I stop and save from buying an EV is another one chalked up for myself and other people, and the normal people that actually know and can see that it is not the future. I don't want people to waste the money. I'm trying to get them to not waste their money. I'm not saying don't buy an electric car. What I'm saying is do your research first. If you need anything other than going to the shops, etc., it's probably not for you. And then another one, Alex hates EVs, continues to own an EV for years just to moan about them and get views. That's pathetic. If you want to give me the 30-odd grand to hand it back, Alex, I'll gladly hand it back, because believe me, the videos do not cover anywhere near what this car is losing. And another one, stop moaning. You chose to buy one. You knew you had no chance of winning this challenge like this. It's just for a feature-length moan, trying to be a wannabe Jeremy Clarkson. Mark Whaley or Wally, who wants to be Jeremy Clarkson? I certainly don't. And one here. What I don't understand is now how bad the first part of the journey. Why, for the love of Mike, didn't you charge the car overnight when you were staying in the prison camp hotel? I'm going to say that's a sensible question. And I'm guessing that you don't have an EV, because you would probably know. You can't leave your car on a public charger overnight or just leave charging, because then if somebody's coming off the motorway and needs it urgently, your car's plugged in and you're blocking it for them. Otherwise, I would have done. Okay, next one. All you have proved is Porsche make poor EVs. and that you should have got a Tesla. You run the company down, but they are head and shoulders above all other EVs. Not really, because their software is great, but let's be honest, and I can't even bring myself to call it a car. They're crap, basically, aren't they? I mean, their build quality is terrible. They handle like an oversized elephant. They're just not a car at all. And a car's supposed to make you feel good. Anybody who's in a Tesla, you immediately look at them and you think, well, what a knob, basically. They're just terrible cars. Okay, another one. Oh, that's the same one. Let's go on here. Do you think you really wanted to prove anything of the sort? You were invested in hyping up the portion of your viewers that would go bananas. I don't knock you for it. So the guy's not being nasty. You've definitely achieved the aim of driving subs and viewers. You know, it's great that I can drive subs and viewers, and I can do that and by traveling around the world and going to sunnier climates, etc. But I really do believe that EVs are not for a lot of the people out there, and if I can save people from making the wrong decision, then I've proved my point and I've helped them. This one's funny, actually. Dave Vantage. Why on earth are you charging to 100%? Do you know what? This does my head in, to be honest. Right, okay. You get the evangelist going, why don't you just charge to 80%? So if I'd have charged to 80%, and I can't remember how many times that I actually charged up. Say I charged up, was it 4 times or whatever? I'd have to charge up 6 times if I only charged up to 80%. So I know it's slower, but I don't want to have to keep stopping, and then I'd have even more issues if I'd have charged up to 80%, because I'd have probably had issues at the next charges. I don't get it. If you can't charge up to 100% when you need to, then these are not fit for purpose. Tony Sales, if you don't want an EV, don't buy one. If you do, buy one. The top selling car in the world is a Tesla Model Y. Why people like the product? You can stand in your garage with a Tesla on and the door closed and you won't die. Don't do that with a combustion engine. You'll be dead in minutes. So yeah, EVs are better. I can't say I've ever put my car, when it was a internal combustion engine, in the garage and left the engine running. Not something that I'd do, but I don't know. It's a bit strange. Anyway, I'm not sure if that's a valid point. Smikey, had you bought a Tesla, this wouldn't have happened. Fact. I've said before, these Tesla people, you've literally got the evangelists, and then you've got that separate religion of Tesla owners, and they are the most crackers of all. They are the ones that literally go to swingers parties. Right, okay, I am done. Bore off, you tedious, lying zealot. That's from Maverick or something. Okay, fair enough, whatever. Again, it's not too bad. So we've got just like a job where you have to meet targets. Suresi, I think you mean surely. Most of the people in these jobs move on to another job. Maybe you should. Don't complain. Get out. Obviously, can't be that bad, or you would have moved on like other YouTubers have. Don't moan, move on. And then Paul Warwick's... Oh, and then... And then, by the way, Paul Warwick, it might, you haven't had an issue spelling the swear word, and, question mark, maybe you're a too. Maybe you're not very good at spelling, Paul, and you should go back to school. And the next one, some of these are fun. That's actually quite funny, to be honest. I did giggle at that one, Paul. I bet you wished you had access to the Tesla charging network. Your test just proves the inferior charging you're forced into. It's almost like these videos are sponsored by the oil companies. I wish they were, Shell or BP or whatever. If you want to sponsor me, my email address is in the details down below. We went to the main dealer for a petrol car and they pushed electric. We declined. That's interesting, Shirley Miles, because I know for a fact that the motor dealers now are being trained to upsell you into an electric car if you're going in for a petrol car. I know that because I've worked with people who train the motor dealers how to sell cars, and they are being trained to upsell you into an electric car. So beware of that. Maybe you want an electric car, so if you do, then you know, and it is for you, as I say, go ahead, get one if it's for around town, etc. I had to update my mobility car and they wanted me to get electric. In my opinion, how can a disabled person rely on that? Sit in a supermarket for 2 hours. I live in London, only allowed 2 hours in a supermarket car park. I hate electric cars. I did have a self-charging Kia Niro. I love that, but I did have to give it back. It was 5 years old. That's a good point, actually. People who've got mobility cars, etc., and they've got disabilities, it could be very, very difficult for them and inconvenient to start going into places and trying to charge their car. However, on the other hand, and on the flip side, before the evangelists start, it could also be, if this lady lives in London, so I'm guessing that she won't live in a house with a driveway. I don't know, so I do apologise, Jodie. But on the flip side, if you are charging at home, and I'll stick up for the evangelists here, then for disabled people it may be okay because you can get home and charge your car overnight, etc. So that, you know, there's the flip side to each. Why are you charging to 100%? The most efficient speed of charge between 10 and is between 10 and 80%, I believe. Well, I've said before, I'm not going to read the rest of the answers on that one, but I don't want to be, that means I'm going to have to charge more and experience and encounter more probable issues. So there we go. Next one. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy. Morag Kerr 9577. This guy is brilliant. I mean, I take my hat off to you, Morag, because you literally are the ultimate evangelist, and you must have spent hours typing all these. He's given so many responses. He's doing his very best to do everything as wrong as possible and give himself as much stress as he can. It's absolutely transparent, and he's at the slowest DC charger in Britain that nobody with half a brain would go near if they were under any sort of time and pressure. Undoubtedly, he knows that. He's taking you all for mugs. This guy obviously goes to church on a Sunday morning and wears beige. I wasn't using the slowest ones on purpose at all. I was using some of the fast ones, actually, with Ionity. Try watching again. There's some more from him later, and they are really good. Sorry for your pain. Your pain is our gain, as I now won't buy an EV. You have proven what other channels fail to show. Thanks for a great collaboration with Jeff. That's Tony Quinn. Thank you very much, Tony. And as I say, do your research, because, you know, if you're just pottering around town, you're just going to Tesco or wherever you are in the world, Walmart if it's America, etc., then maybe it is for you. But long journeys on a day-to-day basis, absolutely not. Next one. Thanks for the video. A long journey should be that stressful. I'm never switching to an EV. I think it means a long journey should never be that stressful. I'm never switching to an EV. That's Matt Smith. I'm not sure whether to read this one. It's involved with the footage. I'll just put that one up on screen for you. I don't want any lawsuits. I'll stick that one on screen for you. And then we'll go for the next one. There are people who drive 50 miles to and from work. What is your problem? Well, not everybody drives 50 miles to and from work. It's a good argument, that. A lot of evangelists will go, I think you'll find that most people only drive 50 miles a day to and from work. Well, I can tell you by the state of the roads and the charging network, it's apparent that they don't. Otherwise, the chargers wouldn't be as busy as they are. They'd all be charging at home. This one's interesting because when I went to Gretna, there was 4 chargers there from Ionity, and it came up on my display that I couldn't charge because there wasn't enough power to the grid in the area. So 2 of us had to unplug to allow the other people to charge. Now, the grid say that they can and they do have enough power to supply every car if we all go EV. This guy here, I work for an electricity board. It's not necessarily that the grid does not have energy. It's more likely that it's local infrastructure issue. It's a local infrastructure issue, i.e. at the charging station. Cables not rated to have all chargers on, etc. Or they could only get a connection agreement for X kilowatt. If they exceed that, they have to turn the charger off. So that's quite interesting. Okay, next one. The chargers need regular maintenance. It's ridiculously too slow to charge and they are too expensive too. It's like you're playing Russian roulette with the chargers. Totally agree. Totally agree. I do agree with your opinions that EVs are not currently, very good, no pun intended is put, viable for people who do fairly long journeys in the UK. The infrastructure is not fit for purpose and the cars are overpriced and not really good enough for long motorway journeys, especially in winter. But, in capitals, if I may ask, why didn't you charge your car when you arrived at the prison cell the previous evening instead of doing it in the morning? Did I miss that bit? Anyway, enjoy the video. I've explained that before. It looks like you're from Knots as well. Because when I got there, Jeff and I wanted to go out and have a bite to eat. It was running really late. When I got back, it was I just wanted to go to bed. We only got a few hours and you can't leave it on overnight because it blocks it for other people. You said no chargers were working, but you met the guy with the VW who was charging at the same station. You said none were working. I would never buy an electric vehicle, but I do expect honesty from you and not just trying to make dramatic content. Well, Rowley, I wasn't. I've said I was talking to other road users. He'd just pulled in and I actually said to him, oh, that charger's not working. And that's why he'd pulled in. He wasn't charging at all. He was having a difficulty with it. I like this one. This is the response though from Morag Kerr again, right? This guy's he's taken over the asylum, right? P.T. Barnum would be proud of you. And then Morag's put sure would, and Lee is the clown, making it all look far harder and more stressful than it actually is. No, I'm not, Morag. You really are on another level. I mean, you are basically one of those guys who knocks on the doors on Sunday morning.
Hello, we're Jehovah's Witnesses. I wonder if you could spare a few moments to talk about what God means to you in your life.
And tries to get people over to your religion. That's your first mistake, choosing a hotel with no overnight charging points. There's not that many hotels in the UK with overnight charging points. Hi Lee, I went out a few weeks ago looking at several car dealerships. In every place I went, I was only 10 minutes in and the salesman came over like they do, and I told them what type of model I was interested in. All salesmen in dealerships said they are on great incentives to sell electric cars. I said I didn't want an electric and they look like deer in headlights. I've said before, as I know, I'm a graphic designer and worked for companies that trained motor dealerships, and they are being trained to upsell you into an electric car. So do be very, very wary of that and make sure you stand by your morals if you really don't want an electric car, and just say no.
Just say no.
As Zamo used to say. Grange Hill, you'll know that if you're from the UK. Why do you go sailing past GribServe super hubs with multiple 350 kilowatt chargers? Why not sign up to the Tesla supercharging and use it as non-Tesla? That network is expanding. It's because you make pounds off of slagging basically everything now. You are slagging people at charging hubs. I wish you would take on the Fully Charged guys and Fully Charged live event. I might even drive down to Harrogate to watch that one. Put your money where your mouth is. I watched Fully Charged show. I used to be a fan of it, but it all just seems biased towards the electric cars and giving the positive sides of it and not the negatives. Love to. If the Fully Charged guys are watching this, then yeah, brilliant. I would love to go head to head with you, myself and Jeff, against you two, going against from John O'Groats to Land's End, and let's do the same thing. us two in his diesel, and you two in the electric car, and let's see what issues you experience along the way. To make it fair though, one of you guys has to go in the diesel and one of us has to go in your electric car, so that we can see exactly what's going on and we're playing fair game. So there you go. Just because you repeat, just because you keep repeating I'm doing my best, doesn't make it true. Any EV owner can readily see the multiple problems with your actions, which would disadvantage you in a race. What an absolute disingenuous whopper you are. Thanks for that. And we'll go on to, oh, this is great. Morgan Kerr again, or Morag Kerr, sorry. Small, efficient EVs are perfect for living and travelling. This is not him, this is Martin Scholes first, but Morag's got his answer. This guy, Morag, was off on one. Small, efficient EVs are perfect for living and travelling, mainly in local area. Those of it that live rurally, or who travel long distances, or who tow caravans, or trailers, will stick to our diesel cars, thank you. Why does nobody talk about hydrogen? And then Morag's here on his high horse again. Because hydrogen will never be a practical fuel for ordinary motoring. Travelling long distances in EV isn't nearly as bad as these contrived disasters make out. Lots of people do it all the time, no stress. And once you get onto the continent, the charging network is so much better. I live rurally and my car's range is absolutely fine for anything I want to do. I was at the theatre the other night, 100 miles round trip, no sweat. Got home, plugged the car in, and it's fully and ready to go again. I'd like to know what you actually went to watch at the theatre. It would make me interested, and I bet you got dressed up in your beige suit and packed your own sandwiches as well, didn't you? And the moment when my sat-nav said you're going to into a low emission zone, do you want to cancel this route? And I clicked on continue. That was good. Oh, I bet you felt smug there, didn't you, Morag? Low emission zone, no problem for me in my EV. Towing caravans and horse boxes is an issue right now. Apart from anything else, the charging stations aren't laid out to let towing vehicles get at the chargers. But battery technology is improving year on year, and the towing thing will be sorted out. If your daily mileage is less than, say, 150 to 200 miles, longer if you go for a car with a high capacity battery and you can charge at home, you seldom do long cross-country trips and don't carry or tow a horse box, etc. EV heaven is already here. Why not join the party? There you are, Morag, trying to get them over into your religion, eh?
One of us, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Preaching to them. And then we've got another one, the tune. Oh, Morag's off again here. This guy's on one. He's one of these guys who you cannot get rid of on a Sunday morning. Why aren't companies with EVs trying the canopy method as petrol garage? And Morag's here. Because they're so busy installing new chargers, they don't have time to worry about the comfort of their customers. Well, that's what GridServe told me, only slightly paraphrased when I raised the matter with them. He even raised the matter with GridServe. Wow, this guy. Here we go. Oh, Morag's here again. Wow. So we've got a user here, whatever. So your car smokes up when charging and it smells. Then you're in the car and it rains and your nose bleeds. I hope you're not breathing any bad gases or acid. Peace. Morag's here. So your car reeks of burnt hydrocarbons when you fill it up. Indeed, all the time. Then your car and the petrol fumes give you a headache. Ice drivers breathing bad gases all the time. Peace. Wow. Okay. Morag's off again. This is how intense and crazy the evangelists are. I mean, it's unbelievable. Nigel Smith has put, imagine buying a diesel or a petrol car and the manufacturer said only fill up to 80%. What a joke. Now, I'll be interested to see what Morag says on this one. First, that's only for days when you don't need the range. If you're going to drive a long way, of course you fill it to 100%. Charge it actually, Morag. You don't fill an electric car. Just corrected you there. Indeed, the issue is simply that you don't leave the car sitting for several days at 100%. And even if you do, relax, you haven't done much damage. It's not hard to organise. Second, that doesn't apply to LFP batteries like I have. Well, he's got an LFP battery, he has. Get the car with an LFP battery and whack it up to 100% and let it sit there anytime you like. This is like points of view, isn't it, from the BBC years ago? But it's always a good line for people who want to make it sound harder than it is. Morag, do you know what? I would love to have you on my show. Drop me an email where you are, and I would love to have you on my show, honestly, and do like a little interview thing over a cup of tea and some triangular cut sandwiches with the crusts cut off. But no, seriously, I would. Right. Keith Rushforth. The reason dealers are pushing people into buying EVs is because the Department for Transport's new zero emission vehicle mandate requires that 22% of all new cars and 10% of all new vans sold next year must be zero emission. This quota will increase gradually until it hits 80% in 2030, before all new cars sold are required to be zero emission vehicles in 2035. Manufacturers will apparently be fined if they miss those targets. Right. Here we go. I'm going to have a drink of Ribena. This is thirsty work, this is, you know. Okay, sorry, Evangelist, it's in a plastic bottle. Morag's off again. Dealers are not pushing people to buy EV. Dealers will sell you the type of car that you asked to buy. Going to correct you there and stop you there, Morag. No, they're not. They are trying to upsell you into an electric car. Right, we've got Morag again. He's copied and pasted the same thing here. He's doing his very best, blah, 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 and taking us all for mugs, apparently. So I'm not reading all that out again. But then he actually replies to other people. He's going through reading the replies. Oh, a note: he left that car sitting idle all evening while they went for dinner and all night while he was asleep, and then he hooked it up to the slowest DC charger in the country. At the time he was ready to go. Even Lee isn't stupid enough to do that unless he was planning to make it as hard as possible for himself. Killington Lake is a pretty stop, and I used to go there and aim for my travelling south. I'm not going to read all this out. First plan: find a hotel with overnight charging facilities, preferably bookable. Yes, do extra work and try and find places with charging facilities on it. Make sure they work. When you get there, they probably won't, etc. So your car will be ready in the morning. It's not rocket science. It may be not rocket science. Somebody's put, you're a local councillor, aren't you? Do you know what? I'd probably guess he is. And his wife definitely packs his sandwiches for him. However, as I say, Morag, I would love to get you on the show. And then we've got, there's loads. I'll read a few more and then we'll call it a day, because it's just, I'm really enjoying this and I'd love your feedback on them. If the powers were serious, then all government departments, including the PM, would be forced to use EV, then see if the green credentials matches the BS. After all, they are the biggest fleet vehicle users. But can you imagine fire, police, ambulance and MPs stuck at charging stations? Morag's answered this one again here, and he's put, they won't be stuck at charging stations. They have charging facilities suitable for their needs at their bases. It's happening already. Lee hams up contrived issues that don't even get on the radar of most EV drivers most of the time, and conveniently doesn't highlight the massive convenience of waking up to a fully charged car every morning. That might be fine, Morag, but you probably have a charger because you live in a house and you're lucky enough to live in a house where you can have a charger. Answer me this, and I'm pretty sure you'll have an answer for this, Morag. What if you live in a flat, a block of flats, or flats like my friend does in London, who can't charge his car because he was told off by the management company for trailing a wire over through to his window? Not quite as simple there, you see. So the next one, Forced to only travel at 60 miles an hour for the sake of the environment. I will go back to the other one, by the way. The PM, the Prime Minister, and the Mayor of London don't drive electric cars. I agree. They should drive electric cars. Anyway, forced to travel at only 60 miles an hour for the sake of the environment. I take your point, but how are you going to A, manage traffic flowing at a different speeds on the same road, and how are you going to police who can drive in the E lane? Well, this was interesting because I came through Sheffield on the way down from John O'Groats to Land's End, and there was a 60 mile an hour speed limit for air quality. Now, I'm driving an electric car. I said that we should be allowed as electric car users to have a separate lane and waft past people with petrol and diesel cars. Morag's answered this one. They can have different speeds for bus lanes and lorries and cars and towing caravans, all entirely possible. Of course people will break the law, but then they'll be caught. I love the idea of gliding along quietly and comfortably at 70 while all the shuddering piston engine relics are held to 60. Bring it on. Wow, Morag, you like my idea. I'm impressed. We agree on one thing. You bastard. I'd love to meet Morag. Actually seems quite a nice guy, but just very obsessed with electric cars. Passionate, I'm sure he would like to say. You lasted longer than I expected, Lee. What an unpractical way to travel. I was surprised at the number of non-functional charges. That £60 charge would have been my last straw. Talk about taking advantage of people. Morag's off again. Morag, I missed that bit. How did he manage to rack up £60 at an EV charger? I mean, I assume that the Taycan has a decent sized battery, but that's ridiculous. I suspect this is another outragely manufactured for likes. I can assure you, Morag, no, it's not. You obviously don't charge at public charges, because if you did, you'd realise they are extortionate. Go and have a look how much it is per kilowatt at InstaVolt and GridServe. I think it's 60 odd pence with GridServe, and InstaVolt was 70 odd p per kilowatt. It's ridiculous. Oh, I'm thinking this was pre-authorization charges. Apple Green are quite bad for that. I racked up £90 once, but it's entirely normal. The money is never taken from your account. Now, look at the price per kilowatt, Morag. It did come to 60 odd quid. It was ridiculous. And of course, you're surprised at the number of non-functional chargers. He was going out of his way to find them. I think he was checking the apps like ZapMap and PlugShare to try and find places that were the slowest and busiest and had broken chargers and go in there. It's certainly not like that for a normal drive. Morag, I can assure you I wasn't. I wanted to get to my destination and have some beers with Jeff Buys Cars. Absolutely not. Do you think I've got the time to waste time looking around to find chargers that are out of order? Definitely not. What have we got? That's Morag again. I think. Oh no, we've got another one here. Of course, you could have done the first charge overnight at the hotel and saved time. That's no good for your devastating content. Well, I've put, again, you can't leave your car charging overnight. You can't be an evangelist because otherwise you'd realise. And then Morag's off again. Morag's off again on here. Sorry for your pain. This is Tony Quinn. Your pain is our gain. Thanks for a great... I don't know if I've read that one. Yeah, he screwed it up on purpose for clicks and giggles. The reality is different. There's loads. I'll read a couple more. Oh, I like this one actually. This is from Morag. Isn't new technology supposed to be better than what we had before? This is HCW. Morag's off on one. It is. I'll read it as Morag would read it. I think you'll find it is. The EV is going to do this to the ice what 35mm film did to the digital camera. I think you've got that the wrong way around. The EV is going to do to ice what 35mm film did to the digital camera. You mean what the digital camera did to 35mm film? I'm guessing you meant that, Morag. And for much the same reasons, I'm going to let you off because your spelling is very good. We're just getting out of the equivalent of the days when motorists had to buy cans of petrol in chemist shops. Only That's misleading. Most EVs are charged at home overnight. If you've got a driveway, Morag, not all of us have a driveway. Do you know? Not all of us are minted and have a driveway. Right. And it takes seconds to plug them in and unplug them in the morning. You never need to face this palaver if you're driving beyond the range of your battery, which could be 300 miles. So apart from these long country drives, yes, it's massively better than what we had before, and the equivalent of petrol stations are gradually being built. I'll read two more and then I think that's it. No, I think that's it actually. One about the fully charged show again. Do you know what? They're saying Quentin Wilson here. I actually liked Quentin Wilson. And I watched their show. Says they're out of touch with workable solution. I don't think Lee's out of touch. Oh, Morag's put here again. Morag's off on one again here. I don't think Lee is out of touch. I don't think he's actually as stupid as to have done all the stupid things he did on that journey by accident. You've been played. You've been played, Morag says. Absolutely not, Morag. I've got to tell you. In fact, Morag, drop me an email because I would love to have you on the show, and I'd also love to see you doing a long journey. Maybe put your money where your mouth is. Maybe get in your car, which I'm guessing would be a Tesla, but I could be wrong. Maybe not. I mean, you seem very evangelic, but I'd love to have you on the show and go through a question and answers thing with you. That'd be great. As I said, electric cars for me, I don't think they're the future. I've experienced it for 2 years. I don't need to keep saying it's not the future because it is for some people. It's actually the present. Go to the shops and back. It's great. It's right up there with the Sinclair C5. I think eventually they will fall by the wayside, and this will be 3D TVs, Betamax, etc., and they'll be defunct, and you'll be left with a car that's worthless, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed them comments and this little feedback video. Let me know your comments about them comments in the comment section. That's a lot of comments in the comment section down below. Going to be doing a lot more travel videos and challenge videos with Jeff Buys Cars. We're going to do Lowestoft to over to Wales. We're going to do North Wales to South Wales, which I'm not looking forward to because Wales, not only you got your 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, but it's an absolute nightmare to find chargers in Wales. It's the worst place in the world for charge points. So there you go. Do me a favour, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a little feedback video. Do hit that subscribe button, it is free. I'm trying to push out the fact that electric cars maybe are not the future for yourself, and I don't want people to make the wrong decision and end up thousands and thousands of pounds in negative equity like I have with this car, because I'm in a fortunate position where I can just carry on paying it, but for some people it could be quite catastrophic, let's say, being left with a car that they're in so much negative equity with, and it doesn't work for their purposes. So please just hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, head over and subscribe to Jeff Buys Cars as well, and keep watching. Give it a thumbs up and do share this on social media, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.